So before I go on with my quote, my story, I'd like to recognize two groups of people who've been recognized here before, but I think it bears being done again. The first is all of the supporting people who have helped us through the path of medical school, our parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, friends, and other distinguished guests. I'd like to give my class an opportunity to give you all a collective round of applause for your support. The second group that I would like to recognize is our wonderful faculty who have spent the last 4 years putting up with us, mentoring us, helping us along the way, testing us, and showing us new insights into our chosen career. I want to have a big round of applause for our faculty. Okay, congratulations, class of 2012. We made it. 3.5 years ago, we arrived here as uninitiated new medical students. And today we'll graduate as medical doctors and move on to the practice of medicine. I feel proud and honored to have shared this time with you. I like Dr. Kirk's speech about memories. My best memories of our class are those times that we spent working together, striving to achieve our common goal of becoming physicians. Spending time together in the pods, working out the solution to some complex physiologic concept, quizzing each other in the details of medication side effects, completing anatomic dissections, and then sharing our work with our other laboratory groups, or staying up late together on call. These moments of shared work as a team are the glue which has bound us together. And this teamwork has made us better students, and I believe it will make us better physicians as well. Recently, I read a book about the medical aspects of the 1981 assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan, in which one of our faculty was prominently featured. In this book, I found out that President Reagan, I'm not trying to say anything about politics, but he kept a plaque on his desk that said, "There's no limit to the success you can achieve. You aren't concerned about who gets the credit." I think this quote speaks to the essence of teamwork, focusing on the problem to be solved or the patient to be treated, without regard for who should be praised for the work. In a world that constantly drives us towards a focus on self-image and individual achievement, remembering to focus on our common shared goals and to play well on a team can unfortunately be sometimes difficult. To me, medicine is the quintessential team-oriented career. It's no coincidence that every clinical care group in the hospital is referred to as a team. No matter what specialty you go into, you will find that you're on a team in your daily work. I think we do this as healthcare providers because it helps us to keep in the front of our minds the common goal which we share with all hospital staff, nursing, social work, physical therapy, administration, everybody who works in the care of patients. And that goal is great patient care. It is unquestionably a team sport. Medicine is a field which will go through great change during the coming years. The whole healthcare system, from care delivery to payment, will change fundamentally on our watch. At the same time, the rate of technical advancement in the health sciences will drive new therapeutics which will constantly change the way that we practice. This might make our lives easier in some ways, more difficult in others. The future is always an uncertain time, but these days I think is particularly so, for reasons previously alluded to in Dr. Kirch's speech. The good news is that we are the ones who will have the chance to define the future of medicine. And I, for one, am excited for that opportunity, and I cannot think of a better group of people to have as my teammates as we move forward into the great, exciting unknown which lies before us. Even in the context of this unclear future, one thing is certain. That is that the traditional values of good patient care and service will always remain of paramount importance. Physicians have always had a commitment to service. Indeed, it is the essence of what calls most of us into the field, and I think if you pull that AMCAS essay that Dr. Kirsch asked you to pull, you will probably find that you said something about service 4 or 5 years ago whenever you applied. But service to patients is what makes being a physician different from your average white-collar desk job. And I, for one, that is part of what drew me into it. So I'm going to share with you a story now, which is about service and is closely tied to the history of our city and to our profession. 198 years ago, during the War of 1812, a prominent Maryland physician named William Beans was captured by the British and held prisoner on a ship here in Baltimore. We sailed right by the spot where the ship was anchored in 1814 when we went on our cruise on Tuesday night. A young lawyer from Georgetown was recruited for the purpose of attempting to secure Dr. Beans' release from captivity. When the lawyer arrived on the ship in Baltimore to plead his case, he brought with him a sheaf of letters written by British troops who had been injured at the Battle of Bladensburg and subsequently treated by Dr. Beans for their wounds. Dr. Beans had treated these men with great care, regardless of their allegiance, even though they were his enemies. Eventually, out of respect for his service, the Admiral was prevailed upon to release Dr. Beans, but not before the young lawyer had to spend a tense couple of nights aboard the ship. Dr. Beans, I suspect most of you have never heard of, his name is not well known to history. The lawyer who represented him was a young man named Francis Scott Key. And during the nights he spent aboard the ship in Baltimore Harbor, he penned a poem which we all know now as the Star-Spangled Banner. I think it's important and interesting to remember these bits of history and how they happened within just a few miles of where we now sit. I love that connection between our city, our profession, and our nation's history. And I think this story speaks to the virtue, importance, and power of our profession's goal of service to all humanity. If not for the selfless devotion of Dr. Beans to the service of his enemies, Mr. Key might never have come to Baltimore that September, and our national anthem might be America the Beautiful. In the last few years, we've gone through a lot together. We've grown, we've learned, we've dissected and diagrammed, we've been asked questions, and we've done some asking questions ourselves. We've memorized countless words, structures, pathways, pathogens, processes, guidelines, and names. We've gained facility with procedures and tools. We've experienced the elation of seeing sick people improve, and we've seen the face and tragedy of death and disease. Through the crucible of medical education, we have passed and come out newly forged doctors on the other side. We should all be proud of what we have accomplished here since 2008 and how we have changed for the better. However, these 4 years are merely the beginning of a life which we will all spend in service, working together as a team to shape the face and the future of medicine. I am proud and honored to know all of you. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. I hope that we cross paths often in the path of our careers, and I look forward to sharing time with you in the service of humanity. Congratulations, class of 2012, on a job well done.